product of mine. I think it's a sexy product. I'm really proud of this. It came out really nice. Carbon fiber inner fender wells for the 81 to 87 Buick Regals, although it also fits the Olds Cutlass. People that keep asking me, will it fit a Monte Carlo? No, but I'm probably in the off season, I'm going to modify the flange because it screws in from underneath to fit other G bodies. So we're working on that. Should have that over the winter. So, but yeah, this is just it's a neat product. We need it for a long time. Got a bunch of them out there. Everybody loves them. A lot of the heavy hitters are running them. My biggest buyer for these so far has been the LS swap guys. They seem to like them. I mean, it makes a statement, and that's kind of why I did these. It's functional. It also makes a statement. It just cleans everything up in the engine compartment. These will work with the factory air conditioning, and I think a lot of people haven't bought them because they're intimidated. They think, oh man, I got to tear the engine out to do it. I got to pull the AC out to do it. You don't, and I'm going to show you how easy these kind of slide in and out. I'm going to show on the difficult side. With the downpipe, these do get more room for downpipe, these air conditioning, but I kind of did this as a minimal. People are asking me, well, can I run the pump, can I run my air conditioning, can I run my cruise control, my overflow, my catch cans, my this and that and that and that. I'm like, yeah, you could make my battery. You can do all that, but why? You're cluttering it back up. My vision for these is sort of a minimalist. People that want to make a statement. People that really want to, when you pop the hood, just have it clean and take things to the next level. Yes, you could fabricate your own battery box here that would triangulate off of the metal fender well and then off the core support. You could get a Jeggies box and modify it, do something to put a battery here, but at this level you probably want to put it in the trunk. It's going to look a lot cleaner. These are carbon fiber. These are very rigid, so that if you have a tire come apart, it's going to add some structural stability here. It is rigid enough if you want to mount to it, if you want to mount coil pads to it, if you want to do catch cans, overflows, breathers, stuff like that, you can. So if there's a race car, you want to do something there, you can. It's a really cool place to put stickers too, if you want to do your logo, your sponsors, or whatever, or just keep it clean. It's a neat product. We ship these. They're nice and straight, but they're going to have small flaws, defects, discoloration in them. We're trying to keep everything we can do to keep the cost down. These are carbon fibers, it is. So you're going to find little scuffs and things. These are meant to be painted, and I know I say that with my bumper fillers too, but 80% of the people, no, these aren't going to be as pretty as they're nice and straight, but I would recommend using a SEM trim black. That's part number 39143. It's the same stuff you do your bezels with, same stuff you do your grill, a lot of stuff in the engine compartment. A lot of the guys that do these restorations for six-figure things that sell at Barrett Jackson's, they use this stuff. And I've used it by the quart out of the spray gun. I've used it out of the rattle can. I think the rattle can comes out better, and so do they. That's what they told me. So you can get this at, order it online. I think it's like 15, 20 bucks a can, something like that. That's what I would use on these, because if you ever scuff them, if you ding them, it's easy touch up. You don't have to take them back out to do it. You don't need to prime it. You just scuff them with 400 grit. You shoot them with that, put them in, you're ready to rock. It looks really cool. It's going to talk about tools real quick. There's one thing that I really did find, this is sort of a tricky thing. A quarter drive, wobbly 10 millimeter is your best friend. It will be on this project. The hardest ones to get to on this are the ones behind the air conditioning that you have to go in through underneath to get to. Quarter drive, I like it's kind of a flexy one, a 6-inch and a 10-inch. You put those together, it's about the right length. I've got a 10 millimeter wobbly. I put some masking tape around there just to keep it from completely flopping over. That way you keep it semi-rigid, but you can still kind of get an angle on it. The only thing you really have to take off is the downpipe. You can leave the air conditioning in. This is probably the most, everything else is pretty cut and dry. You know, jack the carb, take the tire off, and take the bolts out, and whatever else. But if there's any specialty tool that I had to find it the hard way, I would say this is it. Quarter drive, ratchet with a wobbly for those hard to get. And you're gonna say, I can't get to those, because a lot of people, they butcher up the factory inner fender wells to get to them. You don't need to do that. You don't need to butcher it up. You can get to them. You're going to cuss and swear my name. I know, and you can. I'm cool with that. But when it's all said and done, you're going to say, you know what, he was right. I could get to him. I peeked with a flashlight and poked around and got some stuff, and yeah, I could see him, and you can get him out if you do this, and that way you're not going to butcher up a hard-to-find inner fender well. And you also use this for putting the new ones on. It's got a Spoolfool video and an air show. Hey, and that was take one. I don't want to have that bird go around again, okay? These things cost a lot of money to fly, so here's that quarter drive I was talking about. From underneath, coming in from this angle, you can get in between the fender well and the air conditioning, and there's a little gap in there. You got to get a flashlight in there. You can get to, you may have to move some of the conduits around to get in there to get access, but it is very doable. Let's see if I can get this thing out of here. This one's in pretty good shape, so I really don't want to trash it. These are actually worth some bucks now because nobody's reproducing them. There we go. And with this out, I want to show you what one modification there, well, there's a lot of modifications. The original tire, I don't know if you can see it on here, where it rubs. There's where, and if you go for a wider tire, they rub here. And the thing is, the frame rail's about an inch away right there. So what I've done, rather than having mine in front of the frame rail, I've actually made it so it sits up here on top of the frame rail, and then I can push it back more. So you actually pick up an inch of tire clearance up against the firewall. So now the limiting factor instead of the fender well is the frame rail. And then also we've got it wider, the area in here off of the dryer. I've got more room in there for a tire width-wise. If you really want to go for a wider tire, we do the wheelhouse extensions in here. It's a new product we're coming out with. Some of our vendors do have them. We've been kind of hush-hush about it, but there's a few of them out there. Get with me. I can tell you who's got them. And it'll make for a wider tire. The G&X's have those from the factory, well, from ASC McLaren. And it'll, if you want to do a wider tire, it's a neat product. In fact, I think I've got one sitting over there. This gets massaged into there, gives more room for a bigger tire. So now you not only have more room for a wider tire inside, more room for bigger downpipe, you got more room for the tire out the back, but you've got it in the front, so if you're going to lower it wider, whatever. So another new product that could go very nicely with our inner fender well from Spoolfool, and like all of our other stuff, made in the USA. There we go. Probably grab throw a bolt in there. One thing, couple things of note. It's nice and tight to the dryer. We use up because it doesn't dish around there. The cables, we got the wires in here. In order to get that bolt in, you just got to push it up, and then it'll line up. So with all the conduit going through there, so I'm trying to get every bit out of here I can get. But no, fits in there nice. It looks like on the A-arm it's cut up higher. It is for a reason, because the geometry of the upper A-arm, the back swings up higher. That is cut that way for a reason. Whether you use stock A-arms or aftermarket, it should clear all of them. Just got the inner fender well in. You notice there's about a little over a 1/4 inch gap off of the dryer here. I've got a 3-inch Terry Houston downpipe, good old-fashioned, more of these than anything. I have 2.5 inch clearance in here now. When I had the stock one in there, I had 1 inch. So I just picked up 1.5 inches of clearance on that downpipe. So that's a number people can use. So whatever your downpipe you're using, if it's in there and you've got a original one in there, you're going to have 1.5 inches more clearance. So that's just sort of a number. Also, I want to point out a couple things. This one's a little lighter than the factory one, not much, less than a pound per side, but it's still lighter. And that's made in USA. I don't think I pointed that out. I think that was all for in here, but got a nice fit. Comes in here, you gotta, once again, you gotta massage it behind the air conditioning. You know, if you want to go put all your crap back on here, you can, you know, put everything back on here, but I mean, why do you want to clutter it up? You know, I think it just makes such a statement. Minimalist by itself, it's, you know what, it's functional. You got more clearance. Here's on top of the frame rail. So where normally it's sticking out here, you got a lot more room there. You got more depth here. The height is about the same. There's not much difference there, but all the places where a tire rubs, which is mainly right here, and in the back, it's a lot better.